All right, now is this recording? Maybe. Says it is. So, hey, this is Dave. This is my What's Up Dave stream where I catch up with my friends on the internet, talk about stuff I'm designing and looking at things that happen to be catching my eye at the moment. Today is Thursday, the 12th of October. And just making sure the sound is working here. Gonna type something in the chat room here quickly. Let's see. Starting What's Up Dave stream. And that's interesting. I hit the wrong button. So that was the view I wanted. So, okay, it's Tuesday, and I actually skipped yesterday because I actually forgot to stream, and I've been doing this server administration stuff. Not my first choice, not even my second choice, or maybe 100th choice of things I would do, but I have an obligation that I made to help out with these server issues. And so now I am stuck doing them, and I am trying to make the best of it. So, there's more of that today. I'm going to try to finish this by Friday. Number of unknowns I need to resolve, and I'm trying very hard not to feel negative about it. So what I've done is I've tried to compartmentalize the feelings I have. So on one hand, like, I really dislike doing server administration. I really, really dislike doing it. I'm cursed with the ability to do it to some degree, but I don't have the tool set to do it smoothly and completely. So it's a bunch of looking up stuff that it's tedious to look up, requires a lot of detail and meticulousness, and it's stuff that takes all the good stuff that's in my head, shoves it out there for this useless crap that's only good for the next few minutes so I can move on to the next thing. So I really dislike doing this stuff. Plus servers are, it kind of is, I don't know, I suppose it's sort of like being in a mild form of law enforcement in a terrible neighborhood, because your servers are operating in extremely dirty environments, and with everyone trying to break into them, and I just don't like that energy, or even have to be going there and thinking about it. So, but anyway, I just started doing it. So anyway, I'm acknowledging the emotion that I'm having toward it, and then I am sort of applying my adult self and saying, like, all right, I hear what you're saying. Let's work and focus and get one of these things done at a time, and it will be done. Well, each thing will be done, like, in the next hour or so, or next day. At least there'll be a resolution of some kind that will happen. That's the cat, the little cat. So, I guess let's take a look at the just yesterday's post. I'm kind of scared to look at this actually, because it was a difficult post to write, and let me switch the screen over here. And it was difficult because I was also like trying to be very honest with how I felt about it, about things. And that's always, there's always like that moment where you're thinking like, I wonder if I should have shared this much. People might get the wrong idea, and people can be so sensitive these days about things. And on the one hand, I can harden my heart against such things, such judgment, but I don't like doing that either. So let me just do a quick scan of it. So the gist of this, as I recall, not having reread this, is that hey kitty. The gist of this is that I've come to a place. I'm coming back from a place where I was feeling extremely existentialist, or I was having an existentialist crisis, and that like nothing seemed to have meaning anymore, and therefore nothing seemed worth doing. And then following that, why bother doing it at all? And what's the alternative? And it just kind of spiraled into this depression. If I had to do a lot of server management, I would probably be like this all the time. But I was like, at the time, I was like looking at this difficult, another project that was necessary to take on because there was no one else to do it. So like I did it and didn't enjoy it until maybe the end when it almost was done. But those are the kind of situations I want to avoid. What I want to be doing is like doing work that makes me feel light and makes other people feel light. Not these other things that are useful, but aren't playing to my strengths, and they're not areas that I don't want to have strength in, because it's the nature of the work itself is like being in like a trapped in a little box. So why do that to myself? On the other one hand, I can tell myself that these things are time limited, which is a helpful insight to have. But anyway, that was where I was starting from in this. And what I think I came away with, well, this ended up being a twofold part thing. I had been noticing that my resolution reviews for my Groundhog Day resolutions, which are my yearly goal setting, they were becoming very long to write because I had forgotten a lot about what happened during the year. And so the reviews are great in that forces me to look back and see what I've done and see how far I've come, which is great. On the other hand, as the year goes on, I forget everything that happened in the beginning, and there are important transitions that happen, important insights. So to try to streamline the process for next month, what I did was I wrote a review that was designed to be easier to catch up on the big picture details. And so I have actually put those under the challenges area, which I'll open up here in a new tab. And so I listed the meta goals and desired outcomes. This was starting at the beginning of the year. And then these were the starting goals. But then over the year, as I did each of these additional reports, like the June one, I would have to overcome certain resistances or certain negative feelings. So in June, I was frustrated by having to do some work that we had not originally planned on taking on because we're not experts in it. But the frustrating thing was I was feeling like this extreme obligation to preserve as much of our budget as possible, which is not actually my job to worry about the budget. But if I'm wired, so if I know if someone is concerned about something, then I absorb that concern. In that sense, I have something of an empathic nature, and I have to be very careful about the kind of obligations I let affect me. And in this case, I let this affect me, and this led to this sort of spiraling, the beginning of the spiraling feeling. But the consolation prize is all right, so I had to take this obligation on, but that doesn't mean that I can't pursue my own goals within the context of that. And in this case, pursuing mastery, which in this specific instance was taking the time that I need to understand and absorb something to my level of satisfaction, not to someone else's abstract notion of doing things as quickly as possible. I will do things correctly and right as I determine them. If you can't take that, then you should not work with me. That's the attitude that I have. And sometimes I forget this with when, and I had to remind myself to do that. So these additional directives are added on as kind of balancing. Is that the right word? They're for balancing concerns. I just noticed that this theme update has screwed up the spacing in my tables, which is making me angry. Which reminds me that I need to get off of this WordPress stuff and start rolling my own systems. And then I also, again, I started making this summary of each report. So in April, this is when I started the OKR things, and so forth. So this hopefully will be much easier for me to read next time I go back. And I haven't written the complete summary for the October 10 date. This is what we're maybe going to do. Well, I'm probably not going to do it now because I just want to spend all day looking at this. I just want to skim this and see if it sounds ridiculous. So let me just read this aloud for a bit. This month's Groundhog Day resolution. I'm going to find all these typos and grammatical issues too. But I'll have to put that aside for now. This month's Groundhog Day resolutions report took a long time to write, primarily because I had forgotten a lot of details since February. To make it easier to pick up next month, I put in a ton of hours making a summary of major insights and decisions. This is now located on the expanded THU page, and hopefully can be understood as a narrative arc. I need to rework that sentence. But with luck, the review process will be easier next time. So how did the month go? I think I've clawed my way back from the brink of nihilism and have rebuilt my foundation of optimism on, I hope, sterner stuff. The executive summary of my plans moving forward are 1. Make the new website, damn it, by following a few key steps, and 2. Practice. Jeez. Alright, so I had to take this call. So a second.